Hello, hello. Welcome back to the L.A.M.E Book Club podcast. My name is Melissa.
I'm Ellie.
And today we are starting the last novella in Assassin's Blade, The Assassin in the Empire. And then next week we jump on to Throne of Glass. I am so excited. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. These novellas are great, but I'm really, really excited to start, like, jumping into the meat of the story. And
I know.
I will say this. I think I might have said it already. Who's to say? I say a lot of things multiple times. So, honestly, we're all friends here. Get used to it because I'm going to repeat myself so often. But because of reading Assassin's Blade first, I really enjoyed Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. I feel like if you don't read it first, a lot of people say those books are really slow. And to be fair, like, compared to the last books, they are. But I read them before I read the last book. So, like, while I was reading them, I was not bored. I enjoyed it.
You know, and I have a thought on that, and it is this. It is as follows. I think that Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, you don't really get attached to Celaena. Exactly. But in Assassin's Blade, you do. So now that you're so, like, heavy-hearted and attached and love her, you're excited to see what happens next to her. Whereas,
well, it's just like it makes sense.
With that, you're like, she's okay, and then she grows on you around book 3. But if you're already invested by book 1, the story's better.
It so is, and yeah, we already got like character growth from Celaena, so it's just now with the story, we have a developed character in our mind already. So all that to say, I am very much team AB first. I was very on the fence about doing it. I was very nervous about doing it. But boy, did that pay off.
Good. I'm so glad. I think it sounds like you had a better Throne of Glass experience than I did starting out. So I'm a little bit jealous. But c'est la vie, as the French say, c'est la vie.
C'est la vie. As I was going to say, I mean, I know you've already read it, but now you're kind of getting like a pseudo experience of reading Assassin's Blade first, since we're doing the podcast in that layout.
I am crying. Every week I'm crying. Every day I am crying again.
But that's not from Assassin's Blade.
It actually, well, yeah, that's true. But 99% of it is, and 50% of it is, and 50% of it is Crescent City, man. Oh my gosh. I finished. Everyone. I finished.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm going to take back what I said on my last episode of assuming that I will finish Throne of Glass and Crescent City before Ellie finishes Crescent City. I do think that she's at a pace now to where I probably can't keep up. But I'm also...
All of a sudden, after page 400, it got good, guys. I know I've been saying, like, oh, it's better, but I think I was lying to you all just to, like, be like an SJM fan. But, after page 400, I am telling you right now, I could not put that book down. I was like, this is maybe one of the best books I've ever read. So it does hold up. I think I didn't put it as my number 2 SJM book ever, but thus far I've put it as my number 3. It started off as 5, and then I slept on it. I woke up and thought, I can't get over it. It's bumping up.
I forgot I know number 1 is Akamath, obviously. I forgot, what was your number 2?
Kingdom of Ash.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So good.
Stop right there because I haven't gotten there yet. So that's all. And that's all we're going to say about that.
All right. Okay, let's jump into our little intros, weekly recap. How was your week? What'd you do?
Oh my gosh, it was good. It was very busy. Yesterday was my youngest daughter's first birthday. So happy, sad. Sad that she's not a baby anymore, but I'm happy that
I love
she's
her.
Growing. Yeah, I know.
She's the chunkiest little thing you've ever seen in your entire life. She is so happy. She smiles
She's delicious
100% of the time. Oh my gosh. I love her.
It's the best. I know. Me too. Obviously. But anyways, yeah, so we're having a little birthday party later today, actually. So that'll be fun.
Nice.
And the rest of my week has just been like gearing up for that. So we'll see. My week will either end on a high or the party will be ruined and it'll suck. Who's to say?
That's terrible.
It's in the cards.
My week. I don't think I talked about this, but I did participate in a murder mystery within the past week, I believe.
Oh, yes.
And, it was the day that I was going to bring the croissants to the party. The croissants.
Why did
I
you
said
say
it wrong.
croissant?
I said it wrong.
You were really, honestly, no, before we move on, I'm going to applaud your commitment to the bit by messing up and just rolling with it.
If that's not my life, in one word, croissants. But that was the party that I was going to bring those moldy croissants to. And also, turns out, guys, they did have mold on them. And I did not bring them to the party, just FYI, because I was like, I'm not going to do that. But I did have a friend over that day who was just munching down on these croissants. And I looked at them and I'm like, guy, these are so moldy. And he's like, I already ate 3. Well, he's still alive. That's the good news.
I petition to call them croissants when they're fresh and croissants once they grow mold.
Petition granted.
Oh man, that's good.
Yeah. So I was the murderer. I got to be the murderer. That was really fun. We dressed up like 1800s France era. It was.
Oh my gosh, she was so Bridgerton. It was so cute. But then her husband looked like the villain from the Barbie movies.
So
how could I refuse? How could I refuse?
I love those Barbie movies. And other than that, I got back into my regular running routine. So I am doing a 6-mile run after this. I'm training for a half marathon, and I have to talk about it to everybody I can because I'm obnoxious.
Gross. I'm going to go eat cupcakes after this, so have fun.
I'm jealous. Okay, so here's my little intro question. Well, it's actually yours. Do you want to ask it?
Sure. All right, Ellie.
All right.
I'm excited to hear your answer for this. What is something that everyone looks stupid doing?
You answer first, because I feel like my answer is so prime.
You should have just asked the question. Fine. Okay, I think... Well, one, falling. I don't care how old you are. Everyone looks stupid when they fall. And it's always funny, and it's always embarrassing for the fallee. But it's just funny. It's stupid. Everyone looks dumb. I'm adding a second answer to mine. I feel like no one can look normal eating soup. Like...
What?
Everyone slurps. And, well, I've never met anyone that doesn't look like a child when they eat soup.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
Wow, the awkward silence. Just move on. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. What's your answer?
But I feel like now that I disagreed with you, you're gonna be like, what? That's so dumb when I tell you mine. So I would like to approach this with a cleansed palate.
I was about to say, I'll have an open mind.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. When people stand in line with an empty plate in a buffet line, they look so stupid. It's such an ick. I don't like it. I feel horrible doing it. I'm in the same boat as all of you guys, but I just am like, I look like idiot.
The best part,
standing here with my empty plate waiting.
I think the reason I'm laughing so hard is because it's such a normal thing to do, but at the same time everyone looks like a peasant just waiting to get their rations.
So I hate it.
How often are you at buffets?
Not actually like buffets, but like in weddings or at church events, you know, they always are like, okay, take a vibe, go up and get your stuff. So I feel like often in a weird way, but I'm not actually at like the Golden Corral every Saturday. Not for me.
You can be honest.
One time my dad, he loves cheap Chinese food. He prides himself on that. My dad is also Chinese. I don't know. I have to tell you that, but I think it's important.
It adds to the story.
So he is obsessed with this Chinese buffet place back home, was before this happened to me, and I think grossed all of us out for the rest of time. We're all in line. I'm going to go get a piece of apple pie. Believe it or not, they have apple pie at the Chinese buffet.
100%.
This lady looks over at me, looks me in the eyes. We make eye contact. And then sneezes on my arm over the entire apple pie, like, selection. I nearly threw up.
Was it a customer or was it an employee?
No, it was a customer.
Okay, honestly, I'm going to be honest. That's not as gross as I was expecting because it's not, I mean, like, that's not the Chinese buffet's fault that they have a disgusting customer.
No, it's not the Chinese buffet's fault, but it's just that, like, anyone can just sneeze on your stuff and you would just never know at this point.
Those
like,
are the people that eat soup like a toddler.
Yeah, absolutely.
And bring full circle back to what I said.
Mm-hmm. No, it was gross. I was over it, and I don't think I've been back to a buffet since. I was like 13.
That sucks that this random lady ruined your entire family's buffet experience at the restaurant. It wasn't even the restaurant's fault.
It was just eye-opening of like how much your food is susceptible to when it's just sitting out for hours to the public.
I guess.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, so that's that. That's something stupid that everyone does.
That's so true. Okay, well, we have a new review. I'm going to go ahead and read it. This is from Street Tacos for Life. Big fan. Also, the title's a little... I'm assuming it says the title is Need a Book Debrief. Look, I'm assuming it says look no further, but it just says look ... And I don't know if I'm dumb, but it won't let me expand it. So, anyways, the review says... Just getting back into reading and needing to debrief these fantasy books. Loving this podcast, and the hosts are entertaining and are not afraid to share their own opinions. Ain't that the truth? But anyways, Thank you again. Street Tacos for Life. Big fan of the name and the review. And yeah, if you want us to read your review on the podcast, go ahead. Only on Apple Podcasts does it let you. So go ahead and do it there. But yeah, thank you again. And Ellie.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Did we discuss liking and commenting? Was that your...
We didn't. But also do that. Go ahead, follow us on Instagram if you don't already. L.A.M.E Book Club Pod. Like our stuff. Comment on our...
Like our stuff.
Comment on our stuff. We have a YouTube. You can subscribe there. Also like and comment there.
We love hearing from you guys, for real.
Sales pitch.
It was, but here's the gist, and let me put it here. We'd love to hear from you, and your feedback gives us a lot to work with, and we are excited to talk about books to you. Also, if you want to talk to us real time, we do have a Discord. It's in the highlights on our Instagram page. A few people chimed in this week, and we have gotten some pretty deep discussions out of it, and that's been so fun. We've heard some theories all about different parts of Throne of Glass that I feel like I'm pretty privy to all the theories at this point, and there were some brought to my attention that I was like, oh my gosh, that would make so much sense. The Mouseverse is so much more complex than I think what Sarah J. Maas actually wrote, but we are delusional.
I don't know. I feel like she thought through every possible thing before she even considered like writing them all together, and I think it's only a matter of time before we all absolutely lose our minds over the way she connects literally every minute detail.
So true. It's a matter of time. Yeah, okay. So that is that. Discord, it's great. It's a good time. And on that note, Melissa, are you ready to jump in?
I'm so ready.
Okay. Here we go. The Assassin and the Empire. The timeline given to start the entire novella off is called After. So we start off with Celaena riding in a prison wagon, hands tied. Right off the bat, we know that this whole story is obviously not going to end well if the entire resolution is that she's captured. I honestly was just really sad. Do you enjoy when kind of like it starts off with like, I bet you're wondering how I got here, and it's like a totally terrible situation?
I think it's different in a show when it's in a movie. They can like the transitions can be different, but I was so confused. I recognize that it starts with like after and then kind of just goes into it, but I literally went back to the last novella. I'm like, did I miss something? And then because then it just kept I recognize that if I just keep reading it'll probably come together, but I felt like it took longer than I would have anticipated for us to get like clarification. So I was just like, what is going on? So I think I was more confused and slightly annoyed that I didn't understand what was happening, than sad.
I feel like I knew, obviously, it was just not going to end well. Like, I picked up on that quickly that, okay, whatever we're getting to is going to allude to that this is not a good ending. But I was just sad. I was just like, I just want her to have a win. But I will say, I love tragedies. I love tragedies more than I think any other story. I don't know what it is. I'm such a sick freak. I just love when things do not work out, figuratively, and not in my own life. So I had the idea for a story, if I may share. I really want Taylor to write this story. I think I told it to you, actually. But I think there should be a story where, you know how fays have mates.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even like where this is going already.
So
keep going.
I would love for a story to be written. And if there's a book out there, please, please, people, send it to me. Where two fays just absolutely fall in love and you get their entire backstory, maybe even a whole book's worth, and then it does a switch up like Asimov, but where you just like ultimately fall in love with these two characters and they're so perfect for each other and they're so sweet. But they turn out not to be mates, and one of them does find their mate, and they try to like reject the mating bond to stay with the other person, but it's just inevitable and they just can't like deny it anymore. So then they end up staying mated with whoever else, and then it just ends up in this tearful, horrible ending. I don't know. I feel like that'd be a really interesting story. I like where the mates don't work out for the good of everybody. Like in SJMs, they always have.
But they're not mates. I see some loopholes with this story. I like what you're saying, but I feel like fae, it's pretty obvious when there's a mating bond. I feel like they wouldn't be able to confuse the mating bond. And then on top of that,
they wouldn't think that they're mates. They wouldn't think that they are. They'd just be in love. Just like how Feyre and Tamlin were in love, except let's just pretend that actually worked out really well. But then like they find out that they are mated to someone else because they feel that attraction and that bond, but they have to reject it. But they can't because they're so tied up.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Can't tell me that wouldn't be a great story.
It would be. People would have a lot of opinions on it. I can say that for sure.
That's what I'm here for. The people's opinions. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, back to this. So Celaena, we start off with now the real story. So Celaena sneaks into the Royal Theatre to watch the symphony from the rafters. She's no longer allowed in the box, and she's no longer one of Arobyn's main people. She spies Arobyn there, though, with Lysandra. Yikes. She hasn't spoke to him for a month, and Lysandra is sitting in her old seat, and his arms, like, around her old seat.
I hate how calculated and spiteful Arobyn is.
Yes.
He is, like,
he knows.
The epitome
he knows
of
what he's
just
doing.
Well, yeah, but he's just the epitome of, like, a human turd. Mm-hmm. And I'm just so over him. Yeah. Like, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so exactly what you said, calculated and manipulative, and it hurts your heart because Celaena's such a good person.
But it's also, I think, it's less, I mean, yes, that's true, but for me, too, it's even more like, why? Like, why does he care so much? And, like, honestly, like, the, like, icky advances that he and like kind of like gross comments that he's made could only, in my opinion, are the only motive, because he doesn't act like this like to this extent with any of his other assassins, and like he saved Sam and like Lysandra the same way that he saved Celaena. So like why it just is so icky and so sex offendery that I can't handle it.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Like, so everyone should get a notice in their mail when he moves into your neighborhood.
Oh, that's true. I so
gross.
After the theater, Celaena goes back to her and Sam's apartment. Love that they live together. It's so sweet. She sees that Sam's not there, but she knows exactly where to find him. Huffy, Celaena makes her way to the vaults. I know, I liked adding that. She sees Sam exactly where she expected, fighting in the vaults to win money. They start to fight, like she and Sam do, because Celaena hates that Sam is fighting for money.
Verbally.
Yes, they verbally... They start to argue, because Celaena hates that Sam is fighting for money and endangering himself. But Sam says they need the money. Celaena's eyes are open to how much everything just keeps costing, which it's like, girl. But at the same time, the guild paid for everything for her.
Arobyn didn't even tell her how much stuff was. He just had it sent to her. Like, that was totally justified in my opinion.
I agree. But it gives like a young girl going off to college in New York and saying like, I don't need my parents, I'm going to be independent. And then it's like, whoops,
but
this is costly.
But not acknowledging that the credit card she uses is paid by her parents.
Yeah, it gives a young girl being cut off and realizing they can't afford life. So Celaena and Sam want to move away. And Celaena argues that they don't even have enough money to move. They both agree that they could if they take one more job from Airbnb each. So Celaena tells Sam to stop going to the vaults, and he teases her like, yeah, okay, I'll stop going. But there's
that's exactly what he did.
I'm like not good at portraying feelings, I feel like, but just read the book. Sarah is, so that's the saving grace.
That's all that matters.
So Sam starts teasing her. They're so smitten. And she smells her nice lavender soap on him because she like hugs him and smells that. She says, "Don't ever use my soap again," which is funny.
I love that about her. Like, I feel like it's not real life if you are just so head over heels about someone that, oh yeah, like I want you to use all my soap. That is not reality. I love my husband more than life itself. But if he uses my stuff, especially when it's like, hey, like, I'm saving this, or like, I want to get like the most use out of this.
Yes.
And especially also on top of that, if he doesn't appreciate it the same way that I do, it doesn't matter how much I love him. It's so irritating. Like, no, you're not allowed to. I love you. I'd give my life for you, but you can't use my stuff.
It's the same exact way when Grant eats my snacks. Are you kidding me? I bought those for me. If you want them, buy them for you. We share a bank account. Or tell me and I'll buy you some separate ones. Yeah, I'm like, but these are mine. Where was I? I'm so angry now. Just kidding.
The lavender soap.
Thank you. So Sam's using her lavender soap. She's like, don't ever do that again. We relate. And then he ends up kissing her. Very sweet. The next day, the two go straight to Airbnb at the keep and ask permission to be released from the guild. Bold move. They tell Airbnb their plans of leaving, and they offer to pay their way out. Airbnb counters with a dummy high amount, and Celaena knows it will literally drain everything she has to buy their way out of his clutches. But she still agrees. Yes.
I was like a little confused by this part, because 4 pages ago, they were talking about how they don't have enough money to live. But then Airbnb knows the number in her bank account and says this number, and they talk about how much money it would be. I'm like, even in today's economy, I'm sure they could have moved with whatever she had in her bank account.
I know. I also felt that way, but I think the idea that Sarah was trying to give us is that
I totally understand the idea. I just didn't like that it was so like snip snap.
Right. But it was like whatever they had to pay to move would drain everything they had. So they needed money when they got there. And
for sure.
But it's like, how much money do you need when you get there? Find a job.
Well,
I don't know. That's maybe naive of me. I don't know how it works in the medieval times. Is this medieval? I don't know. I don't know anything. Let's move on.
I don't know anything. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah. Okay, so Celaena agrees to paying Airbnb's massive lump sum of money. Then they go home, but Celaena goes home, but Sam doesn't return until after dinner. So, parentheses, this is the second time that SJM mentions Sam coming home late or not being home. Does this give you anxiety? Because I felt like she hit on this hard, and I don't know. I panic. When anybody's, like, not together. I just panic. If you don't have eyes on them.
No, because I didn't, because he was upset that she made that decision without just she just agreed, and, like, without even trying to negotiate more or without trying to figure a different way out. He didn't want her to have to pay all that money. So he was upset. And I don't know. I didn't think anything of it, honestly. I wish I had, I think but I didn't.
Projected my own not even insecurities, but just anxiety onto this situation where, like, every time Grant leaves the house, I'm like, please come home. Please make it back. I know. I'm so crazy.
No, but it is to hear about it, but I do the exact same thing.
I think we all live the same life, to be honest. So I'm just going to put it out there.
It's so wild to me. I think I said this to you, like, in a text or something, but it's just so crazy to me how no one has any unique experiences anymore.
I know.
Everything
as you started voicing these things, everyone's like, I do that. And you're like, well,
but like,
I guess I'm a copy paste. It's fine.
It's like the weird thing. Like everyone has, okay, I say this with zero judgment. I just literally don't know how else to explain it. If anyone else has a better way of explaining it, I'd enlighten me. I'm all ears. But like, it's so crazy to me that there's so many just like weird people in the world that we all have had interesting experiences that like align. Like, I saw this reel where it was just talking about how like a shared table at a library. So like for me, I instantly went back to like in college, like everyone just like shares these big tables and stuff, and how like just people are so interesting and do like the weirdest stuff and like spill their coffee on themselves or are constantly like getting
that one.
Up. Yes,
where the girl has this burn all the way down.
Well, it's a fake burn, but yes.
Yeah.
And like are constantly just getting up and being like, can you watch my stuff? I don't know. It's just so funny to me that like,
yes.
Or for everyone example, has experienced something like that.
Everybody, like, I guess this is a thing. I thought only I did it. When you're on the freeway or driving anywhere and it's raining and you turn your windshield wipers on, but you look left and right to see like how fast is everyone else's windshield wipers and am I being dramatic? Do you do that?
You're the only one with it going like full speed and everyone else
slow, and I'm
medium.
Like, oh god, how embarrassing. Turn it down, Ellie.
That's my new embarrassing answer.
There you go. Also, one more like physical thing. I think every girl in the history of the world has a small freckle on the right side of their wrist.
Uh-oh. Wah wah.
You don't?
I'm not a girl.
Oh, no. You heard it here first.
Wait, the right wrist, like which wrist?
Right here, the right side of your wrist, small freckle.
Oh, no.
Everybody I've met so far has one. Even Grant has one. He's not a girl.
Okay, so, no, that missed me,
buddy. Actually, okay. So Sam left, gave me anxiety. Here we are again. Sam finally comes home and he says that he found a client. Someone who wants to avoid using the guild because they want Sam to kill. I think I wrote Ion Jane, but I'm pretty sure it's Ian Jane. And
it's. I can't remember what it is now.
Help me.
Hold on. Ion Jane. Keep reading. I'm gonna look it up.
And his second in command, Rourke Farron. They're crime lords of the city. Celaena stresses the dangers and how impossible it would be to kill him. Sam insists that this job will get them out of Rifthold, though. It pays so much. He charms Celaena and us with sweet talk, and she says that she'll think about joining him on this job. Then, I'm going to let you find the name before I keep going.
It's IOAN.
IOAN.
I'm going to be honest. I don't even remember how I said it. You just forgot the A.
IOAN?
Yeah, that's what it says online. The internet never lies.
Ione? Okay.
Ione.
The good news is we only go by Jane after this, so we didn't even really need that, but here we are.
But now, here's a real glimpse into what it's like having a conversation with Ellie and Melissa.
Yeah. If you haven't gotten it by the past 30 episodes.
That's so
true. This is it. So then things start to heat up in the kitchen, and it's revealed that Celaena and Sam have not yet slept together, and she's still holding off. Yes.
Can we backpedal here a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
I will say my spidey senses went off when Sam just randomly came home and was like, yeah, I got it's legit. It's going to pay more. And guess what? It's not through Arabin. I was like, fat chance. I was like, it's a trap. It's Arabin setting them up. Or something. I was like, there's literally no way this is a good idea. And so the fact that Celaena agreed as easily as she did, I was like, this is it. This is the beginning of the end of something. The end.
Yes,
absolutely. The jail cart in the beginning of the book is making a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
Especially if he's the crime lord.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Continue.
Okay, so like I said, Celaena's not for this job. She's stressing, and then things start to heat up in the kitchen because Sam's sweet-talking her. They have not slept together yet. She's holding off. Here we come back to my point. Celaena just wants to go slow and enjoy every step between them. It's so sweet. My heart.
So sweet, but even that right then, that little line too,
yes.
again, I was like, something
it's so
bad is going to
to
happen.
the end, I'm telling you.
Celaena, don't just jump in.
I know.
Don't enjoy it. Just
take advantage of life.
Like, yeah, take it. Something tells me it's falling from everyone's grasp.
Well, and that's my next point. They keep emphasizing that they have all the time in the world to do things right. And I'm like, but do you? Because something's coming.
Because if you're talking about how much time you have, that actually means you're on borrowed time.
I know. And this, ladies and gents, is the real seed of my anxiety. Because honestly, as I live my current life, I'm like, I'm on borrowed time, guys.
Yeah. She really is. Ellie will text me and be like, my stomach's been hurting. What do you think it is? Do you think it's a tumor? I'm like, Ellie, are you hungry? Well, I haven't eaten since 3 days ago. Just kidding. Guys. She doesn't do that, but
it's rough. It's rough. And I do eat probably too often. Here we go. Back into the story. Again, foreshadowy. Yeah, we already talked about this, Ellie. I just kept feeling nervous. SJM makes no baseless comments. They wake up the next morning, and why are you laughing so hard?
Foreshadowy? Yeah, we already talked about this, Ellie. You look talking to yourself.
There's a lot up here. It just has to come out. They wake up the next morning.
Just laughing at it.
And Celaena agrees to take down Farron and Jane with Sam. They decide to take out Farron first, and Sam wants to make that kill. Of course, Celaena argues that he shouldn't be the one to make it, but Sam pushes harder because he hates the idea that Farron could possibly have Celaena in his hands.
Because, I don't know if you're going to go into this or not, but Farron is like, he's a sadist. He's sadistic. He likes to torture and everything. And again, I just was like, no, sweet baby Sam, please don't. Like, yeah. You were number 2 for... You were number 2 for a reason. Yeah. Just let Celaena do it.
I know. I felt at least do a team effort. Let two people be there.
Honestly, you're so right. I don't know why anyone would do it by themselves.
It was just odd that he was like, no, I mean, it makes sense in the book world that he's like, I want to protect you. But at the same time, she's a better trained assassin than you are. What? Let her come. She's not like some girl. That's
exactly like. This isn't Feyre in the beginning of ACOTAR. Like, she's not illiterate and untrained.
Oh, sorry, Feyre.
I'm not sorry. It's her life. It's her truth.
It is true. So I was devastated that he was like, I'm going to do this myself, but also was Celaena. So she finally agrees to letting Sam have Farron because she recognizes a bitterness in Sam's eyes when he's talking about wanting to kill him himself. One that was there before they got together, when the glory was always heaped on Celaena and Sam got the kind of missions that she didn't want, always was second place, etc.
I will say, when that came into play, I was like, okay, I appreciate that you're letting him do this.
Yes. She felt bad, and I kind of deduced this. It wasn't really said in the book, but I felt like this was almost her apology for those times and a kind of boost to his self-esteem. And it was really 100%. Cute. I was so in my feels with this paragraph. I was so in my feels. All right.
I love Sam.
I know. Later, Celaena went back to her apartment. Sam was out scouting again, and I have anxiety because, again, it's just like he wasn't there. Guys, when she opens the door to her apartment, Arabin is inside.
I'm just like, go away.
I know.
You're such a gnat.
So toxic.
Like...
Speaking of so toxic, the guy who started our run club, he put on Instagram this week during Valentine's Day, buy your girl flowers. If she doesn't say thank you, cancel dinner. She's got someone else on the side. And I was like, that's so toxic, but so creative.
Also, I forgot Valentine's Day was this week. That happened.
That did happen.
I didn't do anything, though, so... It doesn't alter my weekly updates, but that did happen.
Oh.
No, I don't want to.
Okay. Grant got me this, like, book bouquet, and for all my book girls, that is the move if you're a book lover.
If you do follow us on Instagram and you saw our Instagram stories, that was... Grant is really working on himself. He's made some big moves since the meat and cheese days.
And now, you know what? He's just centering it around my, like, creative outlet. So from, the little what's it called? The embosser thing for your books. Oh, yeah. It says, like, Ellie's library. He got me one of those. The signed copy, this book bouquet. He's really getting it he has to revolve around the creative side and not my hungry side of meat and cheese is what that is.
It only took him 7 years to figure it out. I know. I would say it's worth it at this point.
I know.
Trial and error.
He's getting there. It's so much better. Celaena makes tea, and Arobynn asks her why she thinks it's a good idea to dispatch Jane and Farron. He tries to talk her out of this idea because Jane and Farron are lethal. And he says if a client offered him the glass castle itself, he still wouldn't go near this offer. Now, here's a question. Would you, knowing Arobynn's potential motives of, like, wanting you to stay out of this because it would give you money and you could leave him, like, would you heed his warning or would you be like, yeah, it's not worth it?
That's the same thing.
That's true.
It's okay because I knew what you meant. That would make me want to do it more because I am an Enneagram 8. If the bane of my existence is suggesting that I don't do something because it'll give me liberty and capital to, like, get away from him. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, sure, Arobynn. I'm not gonna do it. Like, I don't know.
I play things safe. I think I would not do it. But I want to get away from him, so I don't know.
It's a lose-lose, honestly. It's a lose-lose because you do what I suggested and potentially fall into a trap of sorts, or you don't and you just have him run your life forever.
I know.
Like,
I hate it.
He clearly can do whatever he gets into. Like, he can get into her apartment. He knows her. I'm assuming he probably has access to her bank account in some capacity because he knows how much money's in there. Like, he just has his hand in everything. And to me, it's like the risk is worth the reward, or the reward is worth the risk of pissing him off because, ugh.
Yeah, I think I would take the risk. After hearing you say that and then thinking through my own self, I would take the risk. I would not want to be enslaved to this man any longer for one more second.
Literally
I couldn't
not.
stand it.
Actually, I think I would choose option C, which is pretending like I'm going to listen to him, but actually also kind of listening to him because I wouldn't take this sketchy deal. I would somehow figure out a different way to make money and then sneak off.
I'd get like a part-time job. I
don't think Celaena is built for a part-time job. Could you imagine?
No. Okay, Arobynn asks Celaena if she really trusts Sam. So he's kind of changing angles here. Like, well, if you're going to do the job, like, think about this. Can you really trust Sam? He asks her if she's told him the truth about where she came from. And she ignores the question and tells him to get out of her house. Did that cause you to pause?
Obviously it did. Supposed to, in my opinion. Yeah. And yes. So I'm racking my brain about, like, what all this could possibly like, what do you mean, where did she come from? How does she not, I mean, like, we know that he found her, but, like, what could she have possibly come from that's going to be this juicy little secret?
So I didn't know that this was in here, that he alludes to she's not from Rifthold. Yeah. And Taylor comes out with these insane theories, and I'm just like, this is baseless. How are you coming up with literally exactly what happens in the story based on nothing? Yeah. And now that I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, well, I probably would have gotten there as well, or maybe did get there if I
mean, I assumed that she wasn't from Rifthold, but
Well, she says, take my body back to Terrasen, to Sam, in the last...
Yeah. So, like, oh, that's so true. I forgot. We already knew she was from Terrasen. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely wanted to know more, but I'm not Taylor. I wasn't jumping to conclusions either, so...
Yeah. Okay, so then, Arobynn says
what?
He loves her. Like, I've always loved you. I've always loved you. Boy,
again, here we come with the creepy comments.
So creepy. Red flag. And
Alert
then he
your
says...
local postman. We're getting some new flyers in the mail.
Then he says... He did the bad things. He did the bad because he was mad that she picked Sam.
What a manipulative bastard. There is no other word for it.
So
true. He is the bane of my existence. This is like, I know this was written before the Court of Thorns and Roses series, but because I read A Court of Silver Flames before I read these books, to me, this like villain arc is so redemptive for the like joke of the villain story that was in that book. And I just
Sorry,
we
Brie
love
Allen.
to honestly we love to hate that like a person. Like we love to hate Varish. We love in Iron Flame and
love to hate Tamlin.
Love to hate like so I except him, I don't know if I love to hate him because he's so icky, but I do also love it at the same time.
Yeah. Well, then you love to hate him. It is what it is.
But yes.
So then he asked her to stay in Rifthold, essentially like alluding, stay for me. Just stay. She's like, no. He's like, please stay.
Gross.
No.
I also have to check myself and remind, like, he was super young when he found Celaena. He was like 16 or something when he found. He's only in his 30s.
He's what? 20
he's like
years
35.
her senior?
No, I think he's
She's
I'm
literally
sure he's
17. If he's 35,
he was 18 when he found her then. I mean, like, that's...
I don't know.
That is too much of an age gap. I'm not saying it's like an okay age, but in my mind, I pictured him being like almost 50, and I had to like check myself.
Here's how it works, okay? Until you hit 20 to 21, a 10-year age gap is unacceptable. 20 to 21...
No,
it's more acceptable.
No.
But let me stop you there.
Until you hit 24, a 10-year age gap.
Yeah.
20 is still a baby.
Okay, I do agree. I only say that because I do have a friend that her husband is about 10 years older, and they got married when she was younger. But they're it's not weird.
I was going to say, that's like blanket statement, 24, but there are specific cases.
Let me start.
My sister's
husband
husband
is not one of those cases with Arabin and Celaena.
My sister's husband is 9 years older than her, and they got married when she was young. But my sister has acted like she's 47 since she was 10. So it just kind of depends.
Have you seen, not that this is your sister, but have you seen the thing that was like, people need to stop calling children old souls and just call them weird? Because yes. I was out there thinking I'm mature when I was just a little freak.
Yes, I have seen that. That was hilarious. I love that. All right. Anyways, back to the pervert, Arabin.
Yeah. So let's just recount Arabin's misdeeds real quick.
Yes.
Takes Celaena, forces her into this, pins her against her enemy, Lysandra, for his attention because gross, like putting himself in that position of fight for me, and then
forces her to
beats
rack
her
up
to a pulp. Yeah, the
forces
debt.
her to rack up a debt so that she owes him.
Literally beats her in the face. Sends her off to go learn a lesson, comes back, manipulates her again, spends her money on her competition to sleep with her competition. It's disgusting. And then is like, but I love you.
Who's the same age as her? Who's the same age as her and like is in every sense of the word just like a replacement for her. It was very implied that he was like, I'm doing this to her because I can't do it to you, but I want to do it to you. That's so disgusting. I
don't like it.
I don't. I'm done. Let's move on. Okay.
So he's the worst. We can leave it at that. Okay, so then he leaves. Double wise, lady. Yuck and yikes.
I'm saying that. Double wise, yuck and yikes.
She goes to dinner with Sam afterwards, but doesn't tell him what just happened, which, come on.
I know. Miscommunication, Celaena. Miscommunication.
We hate it. And then they go home. He can tell something's wrong, so he presses. And he asks her to just, tell him. She's like, no, nothing's wrong. Then he goes, tell me your deepest secret. I love that.
I loved that. That was so cute. Yeah. But I hated... Here's my thing. If you're gonna keep information like that away from someone, commit to the bit. Don't be like, and like, but like not be like, and then what's wrong? Nothing. Oh, don't do it.
Yeah. She says her deepest secret is that, I put on here, what's your deepest secret? I'm just kidding.
Well.
So, Celaena says that she is a coward deep down. She's scared all the time. And girl, aren't we all?
Amen.
Sam says whenever he's scared, he'll say to himself, my name is Sam Cortland, and I will not be afraid.
Honestly,
yeah.
When he first said that, I'm like, okay, what in the self-help book is this?
I know. Isn't that so like someone just saying like, just take a deep breath when you have anxiety?
Or, yeah, no,
thank you.
I'm really worked up. Just calm down.
I know.
That's what I need to do. But the sentiment was really cute, but I was like,
yeah,
that was the buildup.
I know. I thought it was sweet though. Just like you put it out there, you speak it out loud, and that's the energy you move forward with. And I thought in that sense cute, but also it did give the whole just go to yoga if you have stress, and you're like, that's not.
It's not the move. No, I did like, though, because by saying that, he is also admitting that he gets scared. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, so that he's
is true.
Making her feel like, okay, you're not, like, that's not weird. We do a very dangerous job. Like, this is a very normal thing to be afraid about. And you can be broken with me. Oh, that part got me, though. Like, that concept.
Yeah. A couple days later, Sam and Celaena start to prep for the assassination of Farron. Sam is planning to disarm his carriage drivers with arrows and then shoot Farron himself with one arrow and then again to make sure he's dead. Seems too easy to me.
Yeah,
This whole job is sketchy because it's just fell into their laps. So
we have like this much book left, so something's going to happen.
They're too happy too early on. Sam reveals that he secured passage on a ship to the southern continent, leaving in 5 days. Oh, our girl doesn't like that. She agreed to another city, not another continent. Sam tells Celaena to admit that she just doesn't want to leave because of Airbnb. He says Airbnb approached him in the street earlier that day and told him about his visit to the apartment. Ugh. He also told Sam...
I hate him. I hate him so much.
Oh, yeah.
He's just trying to cause issues, and he sucks.
He sucks.
Double lies. Yucks and yikes.
He also told Sam to ask Celaena about where she's from. So dirty.
I hate him so much. I hate him so much.
However, our boy Sam is so good. He tells Airbnb that he doesn't care and tells Celaena that when she's ready, he'll be honored that she trusts him enough to tell him.
I know. Honestly, at that point, I'd be like, I'll go to whatever continent.
No. Which essentially is what she does.
I know. The right
he
move.
Says, until then, it's not his business. And Celaena softens and says that she's just scared then and tries Sam's I will not be afraid trick. Sam says that he loves her.
Of course he does.
And then she wraps her arms around him and said, see you in chemistry. No, she says, I hate
not
packing.
Drake and Josh.
She doesn't tell him that she loves him back. I just feel like that's so...
Are we surprised, though?
No,
are we surprised?
We're not surprised, but I'm still upset about it.
I know.
The next night, Sam is out on the job, taking out Farron. Celaena is home packing. Sam should have been...
Then right there, I'm like, this is too domestic.
It is.
Like, something is going wrong. This is not... This is
too
not
domestic.
What she does.
So Sam should have been home by now. So Celaena goes out to look for him. It's an hour before the agreed upon time of when she should start to look for him, but she doesn't want to wait. Good for you. Although I would have been there.
We love an anxious queen.
Yes. Everything is silent and normal at Farron's house. Like, the lights are on, the guards are out. She figures Sam didn't end up doing the kill tonight, and maybe she just, like, missed him. Yeah, cross paths. Yeah. She heads back home to meet him, but he's not home. She keeps looking at the clock, thinking any minute he'll be back, and he just keeps not being back. Melissa, I was crying when I was reading this. I just was crying again. I hate this feeling.
Well, here's the thing. So, I mean, obviously, this entire novella is, like, set up to be like, okay, so something's bad's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. But Taylor, I think we're, like, 6 pages into the book. Taylor said Sam's gonna die. And I'm like, okay, so baseless. But then I was literally like, how in the actual heck is this real life? And is this happening now? So that was immediately where my thought went to, just because
I'm devastated. And I was like, we don't even know that he's necessarily dead yet, but he's not home. And it's like, you don't have the closure. I'm so devastated. So my heart literally shatters with every new time that Sarah writes in the book that Sam still isn't home. She's like 11, well, it's like, 12.
We don't know, but like, I know, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
she goes out to look for him again, and this time it's noon when she heads back to the apartment.
And Oh, yeah. I can't remember what time was it exactly that he was supposed to be
something like
11 or something.
11 p.m. So midnight, he wasn't home. 1 all the way up to noon the next day. The next day, guys, she goes out to look for him again. This time it's noon when she heads back to the apartment. And I guess I already said noon. Oh, I did say this already. Whoops. Moving on. The apartment is ajar. The door is ajar. She is so relieved. I'm dead inside. She burst through the door.
I was like, there's no way.
Well, there isn't. She bursts through the door, ready to scream and kiss Sam, but it's Arabin. And he just looks at her and says,
away.
I know. He looks at her and just says, I'm sorry. Farron brought Sam.
For him to be the one to tell her this,
I know.
Really grind my gears too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it. Keep going.
I don't even think I could be mad. I'm mad. Like, at the end, I'm mad, but right now, I'm just so
furious.
Sad.
I was fuming and so sad.
Oh, I can't even. It's so sad. So Farron thought Sam still lived at the keep, so they ended up leaving his body there as a message. Celaena wants to see the body. She's like, I will not believe it until I see it. Arabin takes her to Sam, and Sam is absolutely mangled. Farron took his time, and Sam's face is in ruins. She unfastened her cloak and put it over Sam. His body still... I can't. This is where I always cry. His body still smelled like Sam and the cheap soap that she made him use.
Because, that part got me.
Because I
can't believe that even a line of like, hey, it's a funny little line of like, don't use my lavender soap. Still, she brought that back to make us cry. Are you kidding me?
I know. She says because, and a quote here, Celaena, she was so selfish that she couldn't let him have her lavender soap. Dude, after that, I was like, Grant, my candy's in the freezer. My soap is everything you want is yours. Devastated. Seriously, I think every time I think about that, even, I will cry. That's my I can cry on command sentence. Yeah. It is so sad. Celaena wakes up in her old bed in the keep. She kind of passed out. She hears Arabin discussing retaliation in the hall outside from her room. She wants to go, but finds that Arabin has locked her in the room. So she picks up the knives out of the floorboard and escapes through the window. She runs into Wesley, Arabin's right-hand man, and he tells her to use her head and think. She says, don't you understand? He says, don't you understand? It's all just a... And then, girl, she knocks him out. Like, let him finish.
No, I understand. Wesley hates her.
Wesley hates her.
And why would she is on, like, seeing red.
I know.
Because her boyf just got absolutely destroyed by someone.
I know. I probably would too, but in this moment I'm clear-headed and I'm like, a clue! And then she knocks him out before the clue is said.
I feel like we didn't mention this, but she killed the other guy. Already.
The other guy?
Iowan? Jane?
No, she didn't. Whoop. Celaena goes straight to Jane's house. She's on fire. She easily takes down Jane. Just throws a dagger, goes straight to his neck.
I'm like 3 seconds too far ahead this entire episode. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. You're on the edge of your seat, as am I. Jane is dead now, and Celaena starts to go for Farron. However, a smoke enters the room. It paralyzes her, and she realizes that for them to know she was coming and have this smoke ready, someone at the keep had to have betrayed her. She is in absolute denial. Who do we think
that is?
Absolute denial that it could be Arabin. She's like, it wouldn't be. Why do we not think it would be?
She's the only one who thinks that because that was the first person I assumed.
Farron reveals that killing Jane was part of the plan, so now he's doing his little monologue, his little syndrome monologue.
His villain. His syndrome.
Because Celaena is paralyzed. He reveals that killing Jane was part of the plan so he could take Jane's place. He's now planning to give Celaena as a gift to the King of Adarlan in exchange for the king's approval of him as the new crime lord. Celaena gets knocked out by Farron and is brought before the king and the other officials for a private trial. She won't say one word until he's ready to announce the sentence. She asks the king to make it quick, and he decides to give her nine life sentences at the salt mines of Endovir instead of death. And yikes.
that, like, 9 life sentences? Are you kidding me? Okay.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's better. A quick death, or at least, like, the chance to potentially... Death. Well, I'm not done. Or the chance to potentially get away and live your life on the lam.
If you had the chance to get away, yes. But Endovier is...
Well, no. I understand. But I'm saying get away on the way there, not once she's there. Also, we don't know a ton about Endovier yet.
I guess you're right.
Anyways, all that I was surprised that he didn't just kill her. That's all. But then the story would be over. So I'm not all that surprised either.
Missed opportunity for him. But as Celaena's prison wagon makes it to Endovier, Arobynn and Farron are watching. It turns out that, of course, they conspired together to kill Sam and Jane. Farron asks why Arobynn did this to Celaena, and he says because he doesn't like to share his belongings. It's like you can't even say anything at this point. I'm just like,
you can.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yuck. And yikes. Double wise.
Double wise, baby. So when Celaena gets to the salt mines, she whispers to herself, "My name is Celaena Sardothian, and I will not be afraid." And that is the end of the Assassin's Blade book.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm crying.
Yeah.
I can't. That's not Sam.
Not Sam.
I only wonder if Sam... he had to die. I understand. I do. But I don't at the same time. I wonder if he would replace Rhys within, like, the fandom of just being, like, the ultimate book boyfriend of any of her books. If we got more of it. It's hard to say. Yeah. We can't say right now, but, like, if we got as much of him as we get of Rhys, like... Yeah.
One of my big things with Rhys and why I like him, outside of just his charm and how sweet he is in his personality in that sense, is that he is so powerful, constantly referred to as the most powerful High Lord. That's so true. And so I like that all that comes with that is, like, the respect, the adoration, the power, that no one can even come close to him. I like that aspect of him. So Sam's, to me, just like a regular guy. I think he would be an awesome book boyfriend, but to me, does not hold a flame.
Well, yeah, I don't know. But I think he's so much more relatable, though. Yeah. Which is why I'm wondering if... Because he is... I mean, he's not a normal guy because he's a trained assassin, but he is more like... I mean, if we're going to compare the two, he's human. Let's start there. He is. But I think how sweet he is with Celaena and how selfless and how he just is so aware of her feelings. Mm-hmm. Which, not to say that Rhys isn't, but I don't know. Coming from that place of, like, she is better than him, technically, and every sense of the way, and he doesn't hold that over her. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a complex. He doesn't you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know. That so is like, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. You get it. You just get it.
I saw somebody say that, I think it was on Goodreads, that they didn't actually like Sam because they didn't get to know his personality outside of just him loving Celaena and what he did for Celaena. And so that was hard to connect with him. However, I would argue that I think that shows a lot of his character. Yeah. Regardless, because exactly what you said, how even though she was put first, he didn't hold that over her. Well, that shows a lot of who he is and his character. Exactly. But I do think, like, we just didn't really get in his head very much. We didn't see, his humor wish we got his point of view. Yeah. Yeah. Like Rhys, I feel like we got a lot more of his battle scenes. That's his so humor, true. His friends. We saw him with Cassian and
we got Azrael. His point of view. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not... We did. We got 3 whole books of him. Well, I mean, he's in the last 2, but he's not really in the last 2.
Yeah. So, all that to say, I still love Sam. Definitely not my number one SJM guy. But man, Sarah J. Maas really describes, like, grief well. So in the next few books,
my gosh, I know.
It's just I'm shredded.
What doesn't she describe well? She describes grief well. She describes mental health well. Well, aspects of it. She describes falling in love. Oh my gosh, the girl does it all. I mean,
I know.
Must have a lot of life experiences because
I know.
Man, but oof, yeah. We're a big fan.
Big fan, and that is today's episode. Kind of shorter one.
Today's episode. I know, I'm surprised that we didn't talk more about this, but I think if we had, I would have cried more. So yeah. I'm glad that we didn't.
I think this is the closest I've ever come to crying on the show, but you don't have me yet.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get there at some point throughout the series, though.
I'll tell you what, if we ever do Crescent City,
oh yeah,
toast.
Yeah, that's so true.
Ugh.
All right, well, thank you guys for listening. I hope you have a great week. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all the things. And we will be back next week for episode 1 of, I don't even know what I did to summon the thumbs up, but we'll be back next week with episode 1 of Throne of Glass. We will be posting our Throne of Glass schedule on Instagram this week so that you guys know what the chapters are, but if I'm being completely honest, we haven't made it yet, so don't have that for you right now, but we will post it on Instagram this week, so check it out there if you want to know what chapters we will be going over next week in our episode.
Yep. All right, have a great week. Bye, guys.
Bye.